death in terms of existence. Like, it's supposed to be the last warning before it's about to get real. And they don't give him a 5-game suspension that conveniently lines up with the end of the regular season. That opens up the opportunity for him to coach in either tournament, whatever Michigan goes to, Big Ten tournament, NIT, NCAA, etc. Another clean, convenient punishment. Let me give you an example why I hate these. You remember little Timmy that went to the game with his owner granddaddy? Okay. On Thursday, Timmy's at school. He burns down the damn school, the whole school, gone. Timmy did that. My bad, just a couple matches, right? And it's Thursday. He comes home. Mom, Dad, and they like, we already know, you in trouble. You're on punishment, Timmy. Now, meanwhile, they have a big worldwide trip vacation already planned for Saturday. You know what I've heard some parents do? You're on punishment for 2 days, Timmy, so we can make that flight for that damn vacation we already got booked. Or, worse, when we get back from this vacation, Timmy, hey, man, NCAA, do better. like, make him feel the pain of the punishment. You just told him, take a little break before the tournament. To me, too clean, too convenient.
I respect it. I hate Juwan Howard's punishment. I absolutely abhor his 5-game suspension.
Okay.
Why? Because the math ain't mathing. You telling me that the entirety of that brawl between the coaches and people on the floor, people wrestling and whatnot, people throwing open hand muffs and whatnot, is only worth 5 games of suspension? All of that nonsense, all of that riffraff is only worth 5 games of suspension. I hate it because it doesn't add up.
Okay.
If you're suspending Juwan Howard for only 5 games, what you're saying is he is not fully responsible for the altercation. Fair. I like that.
Okay.
Suspended for 5 games, he's not fully responsible for the altercation. Bet. Then what'd the other guy get? Wait a second. If the other guy got no games, but Juwan Howard's not fully responsible, then who's responsible for the rest? It doesn't add up. I needed to see more suspension time because of the altercation. Because Juwan Howard should get more than 5 games if he was fully responsible for the altercation.
Okay.
If Juwan Howard is not fully responsible for the altercation, then Coach Gard should get a suspension. But Juwan Howard can not only get 5 games if he's not fully responsible, but the Wisconsin coach get no games. The math is not mathing. That is why I hate it, Snell, because I just don't like things that don't make sense. And to me, this does not make sense.
Okay. Now you're making me hate what you said, even though I get what you're saying, and I hate what you said more than I hate the punishment. Because are you starting from some abstract, arbitrary number of punishment or games they should have been punished? Like, it sounds like you're trying to do some reverse engineering, deductive reasoning from a number. What number is that?
What I'm trying to do is this. I want things to be proportional. I want things to be proportional.
You don't think they were?
No, here's why. Juwan Howard got fined 4 times what the Wisconsin head coach got fined. Juwan Howard got a $40,000 fine. Coach Gard got a $10,000 fine. Juwan Howard got punished, and it's hard to do the math because Coach Gard got 0 games.
Facts.
Juwan Howard got 5 games. So at a minimum, Juwan Howard got 5x the punishment of the coach. 5x plus the 4x, you can call it 9x. So Juwan Howard got punished 9 times what the Wisconsin coach got punished. Was Juwan Howard 9 times more responsible than the Wisconsin head coach?
No.
All I want to see, Stel, is proportions because my secondary layer is very, very, very simple. Juwan Howard, you got 5 games, but the players who threw punches got 1 game. 2 Michigan players got 1 game, Wisconsin player got 1 game. Juwan Howard, you only got 5 times the punishment of your players? That also doesn't make sense, Sel. Think about this.
I got you.
Juwan Howard making $3.2 million this year.
Damn!
$3.25 million this year. So if his players were making if he was making 5 times what his players were making, his players would be making $600,000. But they're not. So if Juwan Howard, if you are going to be paid in excess of 5 times what the players are going to be paid, then you need to be punished in excess of what 5 times the players are being punished. Coach Gard, if you were responsible to some degree, then I need to see some proportions. It just makes no sense to me.
Okay, let's go. Keep clapping them hands. I love it. On this show, we ain't going to do these round numbers either. 600,000, no, 640,000. That 40,000, That's American income, damn it. You over here slighting it like 40,000 don't matter. Acho, I hate to do this to you, but I love to do it. Famous people, wealthy people know that they pay a tax socially. And they certainly know that they pay a tax when it comes to punishment. Anytime you can get a gotcha moment on someone famous and wealthy, you even talked about it yesterday, ambulance chasers, right? Who are you going to sue? There's 4 people in that car. You're going to sue the richest one, right? Oh, he the one that did it. Juwan Howard, not only are you going to pay the wealth tax, you're going to pay the famous tax. You are the head coach of Michigan, and you were on the Fab Five. Guess what? You're going to have to pay a tax on this because you're the most famous of the bunch. We have to hang you up high and dry. With that said, you mentioned the players that have been suspended as well. That balances the scales to some degree. But more than that, I think what's at play here is the same dynamic I was just talking about with rich people and famous people. This is why so many people settle when they're rich and they're famous. And everyone always assumes they're guilty. They're guilty. Nah. They already know I'm going to pay the tax. And the tax is going to be doubled if I go through the process and still have to pay because I know I was chosen in part because I'm rich and or famous. Juwan Howard had to take this punishment. What were the choices? What's the consequence if he doesn't take this? Termination. He's like, I'm already a second-time offender. I'm already famous. I'm already at my alma mater, and I have a name, and I'm a brand walking. So to me, this was appropriate. We're going to talk later about University of Wisconsin and Greg Gard, the grabber, and what he should have been given. And I don't want to spoil that moment right there. But I knew Juwan Howard was going to take the most. I knew Juwan Howard had to get a chunk of flesh taken from him. And to me, it seemed appropriate.
But, Sal, here's why.
Except it was too convenient.
It's just relative, right? I don't mind Juwan getting 5 games if Coach Gard got a game. I don't mind Juwan getting 5 games if the players get no games. But how can you only punish a coach 5 times what you punish the player? The players are literally looking up to the coach for leadership, for maturation, for respect, for responsibility. So if the players get a game, Juwan got to get more than 5 games. That's really how I'm looking at it. Again, I also am always pro-player. But if Juwan Howard, if you are making roughly, I don't know, 100 times what the players are making as far as earnings. So when it's time to
you count NILs? You count NILs?
I'm just assuming the players make $300, right? Like assuming the players make $3,000.
Pell Grant.
If you're making 100 times what the players are going to make, and when it's time to shell out the good, you better take the bad too. That's why I hate the punishment, because it makes no sense. So we led every sports show, led yesterday's show with the Juwan Howard brawl. And 5 games is all that was gotten out of all that. It's not a deterrent at all. My secondary notice to your point of it being too convenient, because, okay, say the rest of the season were 50 games.
Yeah.
Does he get suspended 50 games? Say the rest of the season were 20 games. Does he get suspended 20 games? Say the rest of the season was 1 game. Would he only get 1 game? It's the same thing that happened when Myles Garrett swung the helmet at Mason Rudolph.
Oh, you want to do that?
And I believe they said, he's suspended for the rest of the season. And a lot of the backlash was, wait a second, what if we were in week 1? What would the move have been?
Yeah.
So I feel you on that.
Come on. If we had 9 games left, he going to get a 9-gamer. Like,
I feel you on that. What I hate even more is it just does not make sense.
It actually does make sense. And we're not going to do this on the show again. You said $300, and then he makes what, 100 times more?
3,000. What's
10,000 more times. And then if you really want to add the point, too, 10,006. We're not doing that on this show. We're going to do this right. All right, here's the thing. Acho, stop starting from this whole premise of making it make sense. This is not for that. This punishment is what you're supposed to do to the people online who wants to make sense of this. So this is what they in general do in terms of handing out punishments. They wait to read the tea leaves. They wait to see the backlash. They actually somehow, some way feel like they come up with a metric based on response. And it has to be a punishment that you feel, and it has to be a punishment that the people who are crying out also feel. And what is that middle number? Because you can't go excessively one way with the people online. His head. And then you can't go excessively with Juwan Howard. I said, I'm sorry, damn it, what's up? You're right. You got to find a middle ground. To me, 5 games sounds good, except in line perfectly. Go 4 or go 6. Something in line perfectly. We're like, that's the only amount of games we have left. What number did you have in your head before all this went down?
Very simple. I think 10. Why? Because, Sel, you always said this. Punishment is supposed to be a deterrent.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not scared of the punishment, then you're not scared of the action.